So I think, okay, I actually had a break from trading last week, I think. So basically a lot has happened and I didn't check the chart at all. The only chart I actually checked was BTCUSD and let's say Alice. Yes, I checked those. So let's just start with AUDUSD. So I'm going to meet everybody now. So,
Hello? 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 Hello?
before the interruption, I said this was a big pattern that actually made me realize that yeah, we might be going down on AUDUSD. Then I said also that okay, yes, this is my point of interest for take profit. Every of my sales I'm arriving at here for take profit now. Then there's actually I think there's a support and resistance zone there also right here. But I'm just going to highlight that place. Now, so now going down to the lower time frame, we had this move downward. We had this move downward, which is actually very, very impulsive. Which is very, very impulsive. There's another block here. There's another block here. We might serve as a break for price. Might not reverse price, but we'll see when price gets there. Because if price comes into this other block, if price comes into this other block, it's actually going to break this structure. It's going to break this structure. And if price breaks this structure, the sell continues. And you can see now, you can see from the weekly time frame I was talking about before. From the weekly time frame I was talking about before, you can see that the channel is also confluencing with the zone, with the equal loads at the zone. So anything that comes from here, this is my own bus stop. That okay, yes, from here, this is my own bus stop. So, but now I will still be looking out for sales. Now we have a major bias that okay, yes, I'm still looking out for sales on AUDUSD. Now, where are my zones that I should be looking out for sales? Everything that happened last week, so I'm not interested in that. Now it's about me analyzing more zones. Did I see any divergence? If I check for divergences, for now I don't see any divergences, because once I'm looking for, I see a pattern like this, once I see price does something like this, basic structure. First thing I always check out for after confirming the break of structure like this is divergences. When I check divergences and I see that okay, yes, these 2 points are not divergent, is normal on the indicator. When I see that it's normal on the indicator, like on this indicator, then I know that yes, actually now we might be going back up for a further sell to the downside. We further sell to the downside like this. So now, since I don't see divergence on this one, on this 4-hour time frame, I don't see divergence here. Now I know that yes, there's actually a possibility that yes, if we go back up, we are looking for more sales. Now, what am I looking for? I'm looking for point of interest to take more sales to the downside. Now, when I see my point of interest, I say, okay, this is a break of structure here. This is another break of structure here. Now, it's possible for you to have more than one point of interest. There isn't different things for point of interest, and you know that okay, yes, we're waiting for reactions that say, okay, yes, after this reaction, you take a sell. After the reaction, you take a buy. That's just basically how it is. But you would have different point of interest. You have different point of interest. So for AUDUSD, now where's my first point of interest? Now I'm considering 2 scenarios here, but these 2 scenarios I'm considering, they are for sales. The 2 scenarios I'm considering, they are for sales. But as I'm looking at it, judging from institutional order flow, I can see a point of interest here. Point of interest here. And another one here, inside here. For guys that don't understand this right now, don't worry, you will get there. That's why I said it earlier that, okay, there are some topics you've not done. There are some topics you guys have not done. You guys are on different levels, but just continue with the class. This is Chartility. When you reach advanced stage, this Chartility is for everybody, no matter the level you are, no matter maybe even if you are just starting your trading career, this Chartility is also for you. You can take advantage of it, use it to increase the way you trade. The main thing about trading is that it's just like like apprenticeship. Sometimes you have to see it to know how it's done. Sometimes you have to see what I do to really understand and to apply it on your own perspective. That okay, yes, I've seen. You say I've seen No Limit do it like this. Now I can actually reciprocate and do it my own way. So now, as I was saying, this is an imbalance in price action, and I measured the 50%. Now, this is one. Okay, I'm not going to remove you. This is another zone. Now, I have 2 zones here. This is my first zone. Yeah. This is my second zone here. Yeah, now that was very nice. Now, judging from Fibonacci, this candlestick has not closed. This candlestick has not closed, so I'm going to be using this one. And I don't know what price will do when price opens. I don't know what price will do when price opens in the next 2 minutes. But this is where this closed. It's a very full candlestick. There's no wick down here. That means the momentum is still very, very high. The momentum is still very, very high. But now I still have my point of interest here. And I have point of interest here, I have point of interest here. Now, joining from Fibonacci, you will see that yes, if my Fibonacci level fell into my imbalance level, imbalance in price action level. So now, from next week, I will say yes. Now, okay, this is one level I'll be expecting price reaction. This is another level I'll be expecting price reaction. Now I can see another of that block here, right here, another of that block here, which I will be labeling as another point of interest. So basically, all what I'm expecting is price to run into this point of interest. Now, there's one thing I actually want to explain to you guys. Market structure about market structure. See, market structure is very, very sweet. Now, if market opens and starts flowing upwards like this, you know, this is the main trend. This is the yeah, market has opened, as you can see. This is the new week. This is the new candlestick just for me, this one. Now, if market does something like this, and on a lower time frame, let's say like H1 or M30, price does something like this, it is very, very possible to take a buy from here. See, this buy, I'm not, see, don't always try it, except you've actually perfected it. The main thing is that, the main thing you should understand is, for newbies, I'll actually say it like this: the easiest way to trade is actually to trade in the major direction. But if you're actually a very, very skillful trader, you can trade both ways. In the sense that you can take trades from here and expecting price to come into any of these three zones. Like opening three orders here, you put one TP here, you put another one here, you put another one here. But what will be your confirmation to take a trade from here? What will be your confirmation to take a trade from here? See, this type of trade you are taking from here is just like you're taking this type of trade, this one. You are trading the retracement like this one. Because I want my students to be top-notch traders. In every situation, you should be able to make consistent profit out of the market. This one, this is the type of trade I'm talking about. It's always very, very corrective and how will I say it? It's always very corrective and packed together like this. You can see this one, and slow. It's always slow, rather. It's very, very slow, especially you can see this one also. It's something like this. It's always very, very slow and frustrating. Sometimes you can actually even take the trade itself and price eats you out. Price will come back and eat you out at break even. Don't always forget, if you are taking a trade, a counter trade, and price eats you out at break even, don't force the trade. Just look for a major sell. Just continue looking for a major sell. So now, what will be your confirmation to take a trade from here to either of these point of interest? So that either of these point of interest will be a break of structure, a bullish break of structure on a lower time frame. Then when price breaks structure on a lower time frame like this, let's say you look at you put this structure like this, price break structure, and you're expecting price to come back down and continue going up. No, and this is a very, very important thing you have to note. You should always note that this break of structure could be the end of this correction, and price can actually start coming back down like this. So the best thing to actually do is to wait for reaction in any of your point of interest you have here. To wait for reaction in any of your point of interest you have here. So I think I'm actually explaining counter trading now. So I don't want to really, really go deep into it because we have a lot to analyze. So maybe in each of your individual classes, we'll talk about it. So if it was me and I see something like this and I see reaction here, you guys know the confirmation we look out for, candlestick confirmation we look out for. All of you, you know the candlestick confirmation we always look out for. So the thing is, when you see something like this and you see your candlestick confirmation here, inside your point of interest, inside any of the point of interest, you take the trade from here. Then any of these three boxes should be your take profit zones. Why are you putting it in any of these three boxes? Let's say I open 3 trades actually. I'll put 1 year, I'll put 1 year, I'll put 1 year. This one will be covering the money I reached here. Let's say I reached like $50 or $100 here. If I take a profit here, I should be taking a profit that will actually cover my losses that would have made here, or that will actually return the money I put on this trade. Then this one should just be okay, additional profits to increase your equity. Now, that's that about that. So now, in each of these 3 zones like this, in each of these 3 zones, what I'll be expecting is candlestick confirmations, and there's actually a possibility of price doing something like this, coming to this zone, invalidating this zone, I will delete it. If it invalidates this zone, I will delete it. Coming to this zone, giving me a candlestick pattern, me entering the trade, price coming back down like this, price reaching here, and price starts going back up. Is very, very possible, because I will actually love this type of trade, because I actually like taking sales from an upper place to make it more valid. If I take a sell from here, it's actually very, very, very interesting, because I know these 2 points will diverge. If I see a candlestick confirmation here inside this zone, and I see these 2 points like this, I know it will diverge. It will diverge. I'm very, very sure. If it diverges, it's adding to my confirmation, take the trades. Hope you guys understand. So you trade with everything together. So if I see that, okay, yeah, this place is diverging, I will know, yeah, it's adding to my confirmation, take the trade. But all well and good. Yeah. My major thing, what I'm looking out for, what I'm still looking out for is that, okay, yes, these 3 zones for sales to the downward side, because we are still on the downtrend. And as I said earlier when I started the class, this is my major points, my major sell-off points for AUDUSD. That's my major sell-off point. So that's just it. Now on to the next. That's that about AUDUSD. I will drop the chat. I will drop the chat on Chartility. I will drop the chat. On to the next. I'm going to. Okay, let me just. Do you guys have any questions? Jibril.
No, I don't.
Timothy, any questions?
Hey, I come again.
Do you have any questions?
Not yet, bro. I'm still with you.
Okay, I'm going to the next pin now. So we'll analyze that one too. Let me drop the chat for that one. I'll drop it on the group.
Okay.
There are sometimes a lot of things that you don't understand, but you still have to go with it. When we go back to our individual classes, we will understand better. And if you have questions also that you forgot to ask, there's actually you're free to ask me questions when we hold personal classes.
Okay, no problem.
Okay, yeah, on to the next. Let me just talk about this. I'm going to analyze EU, I'm going to analyze BTC, I'm going to analyze GG, I'm going to analyze Alice, I'm going to analyze, maybe I'll just ask for one more from you guys, just one more from you guys to analyze. So after that will be all, because I think we have limited time for this class. So now on to EU. Now on to EU. Now, EU is actually doing the same thing as AU, because dollar is very, very strong as of the moment. Very, very strong. Very, very. And I think the strength will continue till the end of the year. The strength will continue to the end of the year. This is actually where I had for EU that, okay, yes, if price reaches here, yeah, I'll be looking out for here for take profits, for major take profit zones from all the way here. From here down, I had this place that, okay, yes, major take profit zone. but price touch it aggressively self. Price touch it aggressively. So most of the times you have to just see that, yeah. Sometimes you miss trades like this, you'll be like, what? But it's part of trading. Now, what do we have on EU? I'm going to delete this, is no more useful. What do we have on EU? I'm deleting this also. I'm deleting this. There's one thing you have to understand. You don't force setups. When you see a setup, just trade it. If you don't see a setup, wait for your setup. That is just as easy as that. But it's always very, very, very hard to wait. I know as a trader, I've experienced it before. When you are waiting for trades, it's always frustrating. Sometimes you're expecting yourself to make money. There are some things you want to use money to do that you will not be able to force yourself to take trades, because you know if you are forcing trades, you might actually be you'll be psychologically wrong in taking that trade, because it is not systematic. And if a trade is not systematic, you end up just taking the trade irrationally. Because number one thing you have to understand is this market is irrational enough. Price is irrational enough. These are different people pouring different emotions into the market, making different decisions. If you have a cool head and you make rational decisions, is an edge over others. Is an edge over others. So now EU, what do we have? Judging from candlestick analysis, you can see that this candlestick, and this one, they are full bearish candlesticks. The next candlestick that will open, if it does not engulf this one, there's no time for reversal. Like what do I mean? What I mean is that if this next candlestick that just opened this week, this is a new week, If this new candlestick, it does not engulf this one like this, I'm not actually thinking about taking buys. All what is on my edge right now is sales. If I'm actually looking for major take profit zones, on EU for sales, because I know right now, I know that, okay, yes, the sell is continuing. We are continuing on the sell. Now, let me look out for long-term major take profit zones to actually terminate my sales if I'm actually looking to exit my trade. Now, the only one I can see here is this one. This imbalance in price action here. If I measure this like this, 50% of the imbalance. Yep. Okay, that's it. Now, this is a major take profit zone. You know, normally I use Fibonacci for take profits, but first of all, I look at the pair, look at, okay, yes, where could you be terminating at? Where could you be stopping from? And from here, I don't see any divergences. Except price is going to form one entering this zone. I don't see any divergences for now. So now the main thing I have in mind is that, yes, we're going lower. Okay, where should I look for sales? Point of interest for sales. If I'm going to be looking at a point of interest from sales, let me start from the daily time frame. The daily time frame just formed an engulfing pattern, and the recross here, it did not really cross the TDI, but it just glanced through the TDI. So now, looking for point of interest, I start from the last break of structure, like here, last break of structure from this point. This is the last break of structure from this point. I'll be like, okay, yes, this is my last trade to my last break of structure. Now, my Fibonacci from this point here. This Fibonacci can get invalid. In what sense? If price opens and continues going down to the point and it surpasses the point where I drew the Fibonacci. Like if price opens and goes down like this, I'll be deleting the Fibonacci because it's already invalid, because this is my point, my last point, and this is my first point. So now inside, okay, inside I've actually been given a warning now. The meeting will end in 10 minutes. Then after that, you guys, you will join the meeting. You will join the meeting. I will end this meeting in 10 minutes. Then we will join the meeting. You guys will join the meeting for the last part. So let's just finish EU. When we finish EU, then I will end the meeting. Then you guys will join. After you will join, we will start the second one immediately. So now, as I was saying, looking out for point of interest here, I have another block here. This is my first point of interest. This is a daily time frame. So I'm not going to be dwelling much on it, because any analysis on this daily time frame is just going to be big. I might not be taking trades from it because the stop loss will be wide. So I'm moving down to a lower time frame to look for points of interest. And as you can see, if I don't see any, there's one thing about me, if I don't see any point of interest that satisfied my trading criteria, I'll leave the pair. I'll leave the pair. As I'm looking through it for right now, price was too volatile for any point of interest. If I'm actually looking at for point of interest here, the first point of interest I'll be seeing is support and resistance right here. My support and resistance here, and that is actually confluencing with my 0.618 fib level. It's confluencing with my 0.618 fib level. So yeah, as you can see, there was a reaction here, there was a reaction here. So, and I have my MA inside it, this moving average, which acts, as you guys know, support and resistance. This moving average that I noted, dynamic support and resistance. You all know what I'm talking about. So now, inside that zone also, I'll actually be seeing there's a little imbalance there, right here. There's an imbalance here, but I will not be dwelling on it because I've already highlighted this zone for support and resistance and 0.618. There's an imbalance there. I will not be highlighting it. Now, what I'll be looking out for is reversals on EU. If I see reversals like this, like trade reversals like this, and a break of structure, then I'll be looking out for this point of interest. But there's a high possibility that there's a very, very high possibility that price comes inside this zone before coming here. And if price comes inside this zone, this whole setup is invalid, because if price comes inside this zone, we're actually looking at another thing entirely. I'll be looking out for divergences if price comes inside this zone. And I'll be watching out for how price approaches this zone. If it approaches it very, very, very aggressively, it's going to break it. And if price approaches it normally and it gives me my candlestick confirmation, you know, the candlestick confirmation we look out for the bullish engulfing and morning star pattern. If it gives me those ones on a daily time frame, I'll check out for them on a daily time frame. If you give me those ones on a daily time frame, I'm not going to be taking the trade because I know the stop loss will be wide. I'll wait for a break of structure, like something like this. If it flies into this zone and it gives me a confirmation on a daily time frame, and I'm actually saying it again on a daily time frame, I'm not going to be taking the trade from there because of it's a daily time frame. I'll wait for a break of structure on a lower time frame, then price coming back to any of my point of interest to take the trade upward. And you always know what I look out for in my point of interest: candlestick confirmation, divergences, moving averages, all those. Things that will increase your probability on taking the trade. Now, if I see something like this will be my first take profit level from here. Why? Because I have a support and resistance here. Support and resistance. There's high possibility that okay, yes, we might actually see a reaction from here that might actually push price downward. Because majorly, except price breaks this structure up here. Because this is the major structure that is actually how will I put it? This is the major structure that actually will confirm my buy bias. Okay, if price breaks this structure and closes above it, and I say it again, if the candlestick closes above it, then I'll be like, okay, yes, might actually be looking for a buy on EU. But anything that comes from here, that comes into any of these zones, is it will be a correction. It will be a correction. When you see correction trades, they are not always sure. Most of the times when you want to take trades, always take them in the direction of the trend, because they will be more impulsive and they will make more money for you guys. They will be more impulsive, and you won't even stress. You just say, okay, price just keeps flowing downward. If you see, look at you to observe something. If you had traded EU from the beginning of June, let's say June, till now, and you're taking buy trades only, you get frustrated. Why? Because those buy trades are very, very short. They're always very, very short. They're always very, very short, and they don't last long, because that's not the direction of the trend. When you see a trend going downwards, don't just fight it. Just look for point of interest and enter it. If you want to take swing trades, take swing trades. If you want to leave the trade for long, that's what I mean by swing trades. If you want to take short trades, take them. It's allowed. The main aim is to make money. The main aim is to extract profit from the market. So basically on EU, what I've been saying since money is that, okay, I'm looking out for this point of interest, but I'm actually looking out for this zone, because there's a high possibility that, because this engulfing might push price downward, and I'm not going to enter trade from this engulfing, because it's in no man's land. It's not inside any of my zones, institutional level, support and resistance, or fib level. Is not inside. So I'm not going to be taking this trade from here. So I'll just be waiting for price to either come inside the break structure and give me a point of interest from this one, and I'll take trade from here up here. And I'll bear it in mind that, yeah, I'm trading against the trend, but this will be my take profits. And I'll actually be watching if price breaks this market structure, this structure here. That's just it. All I have to do is just wait and see. If price does this, I do this. If price does not do this, I wait and see again. If price does this, I react. If price does not do anything, I don't react. That's just as simple as that. So I hope everybody is following me. I think we'll have to stop this meeting now, and we'll join back. You guys will have to join back. We'll talk about GJ, BTC, and Alice. Do you guys have any questions?
No question.
Okay, is everybody with me?
Ewa.
Yeah.
Concerning the break of structure at the this pattern up the way you draw this black line.
This one?
Are you with me? Yeah.
Okay.
How can you why do you identify that place as the main break of structure?
Because that's the last structure points, like major structure points. You know, we're on a daily time frame. If I go lower now, if I say, okay, H4, if I say, okay, where's the last major structure point on H4? Is here.
Oh, it's true.
But if I say, okay, daily time frame, and you know, from the bearish trend is very, very strong. Very strong. USD is actually going crazy right now. It's very, very strong. So the best thing is actually to wait for confirmation up here to actually think of a change in trend majorly. So that's why I put this here that, okay, yes, if price comes up here and breaks it, then I know that, yeah, there's a high possibility that a trend might change.
Grab.
So any other question?
Not for now.
So you guys are in the call now, so please, you guys rejoin. So
when the meeting will start, right?
Immediately, just if I end the call, just rejoin, because if I end the call, I'll start it again. Just rejoin. Hope you are with me.
Okay. It's you up to a minute or